Okay, sound. Now, it was not you guys, it was me that there was no sound. There was no sound because we were using the phone for sound, and then we got kicked out of the phone. So we're back. Now you can hear me. We may just do this whole thing just from the laptop again. Stacy, if you can't make it work, I'll just make it work with this. So what we're going to do today, you guys, I'm outside. It's a little bit chilly, not quite 60 degrees here, but I have some Holly Glen and Fairy Merry Christmas. These are unopened transfer packs. These are hot commodities, as you all know. Good morning, Carolyn and Sharon. We're going to try to see if we can get a second camera going so you can, Stacy, can focus on down to the projects we're working on. And let me show you what we've got going. I will show you one version of what we have, which is right here. Do we like this? So scrap wood.
Here's this. I don't know how to turn the camera the other way.
So Stacy, come over here and say hey to people.
Hey, people.
Nope. Say hey. Her hair is wet. She doesn't want.
Oh, I don't care about that.
She doesn't care about that.
Sometimes.
There's Stacy. She's here to help. We're trying to get the second. Now we're going to have echo, right? Tell you what, you guys. This is too last minute. Just. Okay. Uh-oh is right, Shannon. Uh-oh. I think I'm back. Here in Minnesota, Carolyn, we don't think 59 degrees is cold. But it's cold enough to put on a little jacket, I guess. I'm going to just try to do this just with the laptop. Always some little technical glitches, but this is what we are kind of working with. I don't know how to pronounce it. I should. I used to use fabric like this when I did counted cross stitch a million years ago. So we're going to use some of this. It's like Orna something. If anyone knows what it's called, please just let me know or write it in comments so we can know what this is. It's like Ornisberg or Orna something. I don't know, but it's an even weave fabric similar to muslin. You could use muslin. This is not quite as tight a weave, and I just like the way it looks. I like that I can fray the edges. So we're going to be using some of this. We are going to be using a non-traditional art supply in joint compound. So this is dust control drywall sheetrock joint compound. I have a big container. You don't need a big container. You can get a small little tub, and you could probably use painter's drop cloth. Osnaburg, Sheila, I think you're on it. That is what it's called. So we're going to use this big thing of joint compound. I have done it already and it worked really well. So we're going to take one of these pieces and I'm going to turn the laptop camera down. See if we can get this down. Yeah, that's not so terrible, right? It's not the most sophisticated way, but can people hear me? And you can see, right? So I ripped these pieces to size based on the images that I'm going to be using. So let's see, where did here's an image. There's the size, right? So what I do, and we want to allow a full 24 hours for this to dry, but basically I am going to open up this giant thing of joint compound, because when I make a project, I usually make 100 of them. You guys don't need this much. I'm struggling to get this off. The caps go on really nice and tight so that here's what it looks like, right? Nice big giant thing of joint compound. I have a spatula here that I've used many times. I am just estimating that I need the center part of this using a quarter to a half an inch of extra room there, and there's some joint compound, and I'm just plopping it on using this. Now, if you wanted to, you could use something fancier and more expensive, which might be less expensive if you're just doing a little bit, but you can use art supplies such as modeling paste. That would do it as well, but joint compound works, and it's much less expensive. So if you do a lot of this, it's a cost-effective way. And I hope whenever I show people things on a video, it's like just the beginning, right? It's what else can you do with this? And there are so many things you could do with this technique. So I'm basically making a cut to size substrate that I'm going to be able to put that joint or the transfers onto. So I'm kind of just smoothing it with the spatula. I don't need it to be exactly perfect. I'm trying to work it into the fibers a little bit so it becomes part of get my hand out of the way, becomes part of the fabric, so that when it dries, we're going to have a nice surface to work on. So there we go. Then we're just going to set that aside. I'm going to put my spatula away, find the lid for this joint compound. Here's the lid going back on nice and tight. And we have one that is the right size to later apply this transfer. So I'm going to set that aside to dry. That's going to dry a good 24 hours, depending on the temperature and that kind of thing, but that will dry to a nice finish. I'm going to set it aside and show you one that I did the other day. So this finish, like if I do this to it, it'll crackle. Does that bother me? No, I like that. I like the crackles and that kind of stuff. So this one is done. After the joint compound dries, you're going to want to apply a clear coat to it, because we know that transfers don't like super porous. So they're not going to like the joint compound right out of the box, right out of the package. We want to seal that and then let that dry really well too. So joint compound, or like Liquitex or some kind of art supply modeling paste, once it gets dry, I have a small brush here, but basically I am just sealing up that, yes, Osnaburg we're talking about that. Yes, I bought mine at Joann Fabric. So it's a pretty basic cotton fabric. And I put way too much of my sealer on here, but that's all right. I'll just use what I need and wipe away the rest. I have some water. You know, I'm going to be getting my hands in this any minute now. Yeah, there's a thing of water. Oops. Put that in there. I did not bring a brush or a bigger brush, so I'm just going to push some of this excess away. Don't do this at home. That's kind of a waste of Stace, would you bring me some paper towels, please? Just okay. So there, it's clear coated. And again, we're going to let that dry. That's another several hours or more of dry time. But I work in batches, so I'll do a lot of the little fabrics with joint compound, let them dry, seal them up with a clear coat, and I use a water-based sealer that comes with my paint line. Any water-based sealer is going to do it. Stacy's getting me a paper towel so I don't have to keep working with my hands all like this. Hopefully she finds them soon, but we're going to move on to our salvaged wood pieces. I just cut these again. What I love with this is you can cut your fabric to exactly the size you need. You cut a piece of wood to the size that you need. I have done several of these ahead of time. Thank you. Now we have paper towels. Perfect. So here is one of the Fairy Merry Christmas transfers. We have the chunk of board that's been stained with a water-based stain and sealed. But now I'm going to, I don't know, this one looks big to me. Let's use a better size. I like the size of this because it shows some of the wood edges. This has already been sealed, so it's ready to receive its transfer. And I am going to, we know with transfers, don't touch the printed area, float it above where you want it and get that on there. So I'm just pushing that onto the surface that's double dried, right? The joint compound dried, the sealer has dried, and we're just gonna apply this like we would to any, transfer surface. Get that going. Love the sound that it makes. I don't know if you can hear it, but when it releases, it makes that delicious kind of crispy whoosh sound. So we're getting that down on here. Yep. There we go. Sometimes it seems like a little bit of air makes it move better. And there we have it, right? Just on the fabric, on the joint compound. That was sealed. Now the transfer. So it's on there. I'm going to burnish it down. I'm going to burnish that. So we're going to talk a little bit about on fabric. I'm mounting this to wood, so it'll be less likely to crack and that kind of thing. So you don't want to do this on something you're going to wear. This is on and it's nice, and I'm going to seal it with some wax. I'm using just a clear kind of wax that you'd use to seal furniture paint. And I just want to condition that a little bit more so it's less likely to crack and putting the wax on the transfer and on the sealed joint compound just to give it more flexibility. Just wipe that and I'll buff it up later. So we've got that good, right? I have purchased some carpet tacks. I got these on Amazon. Upholstery tacks is what they are, not carpet tacks. But you could also use carpet tacks. I have some simpler looking ones right here. These can come from a big box home improvement like Home Depot. I bought them on Amazon because I liked the decorative ones a little bit more. So I hope you can see these. I'll show you on the box that we did earlier. So these are decorative upholstery tacks that I am using just to push. I'm mounting that on the wood like so, and they go right in. And if they're difficult, right, I just take piece of wood. We use what we have. I kind of like these for this, but I've already started, so I'm going, no, I'm not. I'm going to take that one out. No, I'm not. It's in there very well. So we're going to use this for this piece and just put these upholstery tacks, which are decorative, around the corners and just hammer those in. I hope the shadows aren't too much here, but there we have that. Pretty basic and straightforward, right? I'm going to lift this up. Yes, we use what we have. Hey, Joan, please do watch the replay. Thanks, Carmen. So glad you're here. So the dimensions of the wood piece, and they vary based on the size that I want for, I'm going to say this is about 5 by 6, something like that. And what I do to get tea stain the fabric, that would be fabulous. Using some inks along the edges now that they're attached here, kind of, or a dark wax. Lots of different variations on how you can do this, right? But you have the basic process. I want to share a little bit more with you here because I'm excited about these, right? We're going to put one right on here. And as far as the process with Iron Orchid Designs products, it's the same, right? We're creating the joint compound background, we're sealing it, and then we can put transfers on. But I like, when I do a display, I'm going to have different heights, different sizes. So this one, we'll finish putting those tacks in because I'm making really good time here on this. That's what happens when you prepare ahead of time, right? I've got the basics of this done. I would like to know if you guys are coming up with some thoughts and ideas. Some of the transfers in these transfer packs are pretty small. And I was thinking it would be a fun way to do a bunting or a banner to use the joint compound. And so we'll see if I can throw one of those together and either do a future live with that or just post it in the tribe or something like that. But there is this one. So I want to show you this process in case anyone wants to do something like this. On the bottom, on this one, I have just used a wood slice. We've had a lot of tree damage here. I'm going to make my own wood slices from the trees that we have lost. But if you don't have ready access to that, you can buy wood blanks like this at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Amazon, this size, smaller. You just want a base for your bottom, which I screwed through to a spindle. And I don't know about you guys, if you're furniture rehabbers like I am, you might yourself have spindle parts. I have lots of them that are from chairs that had seen better days. So I've got all these parts from chairs that I am going to be using to make a stand for these. So we see that, right? We see how that works. Yeah, isn't that cute? So, you know, we're going to have one down here. We're going to have one up here. So there could be a whole display at different heights. I've done that base coated the material decoupage medium. Yes. Yep. That would be another fun way to do this. You could decoupage on the fabric. You could make these the way I'm making them, right? And decoupage a small primed canvas from wherever, from Michael's, from Joann's, Hobby Lobby, Amazon, the small, inexpensive little, and you could decoupage that and put I mean, it is endless, the possibilities when you start thinking about it. But here is this, right? With a wood slice on the bottom, or around like this, we would attach the next, however we want to do that, like this, maybe just a screw right through the bottom into this. Then the part that I futzed with for a while, and I don't even really know what these are called. These are double-sided screws. They don't have a top. They screw in. This one is huge. I'm not using them on this project. Carmen, if you're still watching, do you know what these are called? They are made for attaching pieces of wood together. So you drill a hole, you put that in, and you drill a hole, and you put that in. And what you end up with is this. So screw through the bottom, the double-sided screw, 2 points, no head. And that allows you to, here, I can just even take this off and show you the size and the way that works here. So we have a little one, we have the hole drilled in this, and we're just gonna do that. You also could use a dowel. Yep. I love the way you guys think. That's what we do, right? We see something and then we apply all the stuff that we know about and come up with 100 other ways to do something, which is something I frankly love about us. A two-sided screw. That's pretty simple. That's what it's called, a two-sided screw. So I am just going to take this one. You know, you guys get the drill. I don't think I have to explain a whole bunch more here, but we're going to do one more transfer. Well, here's what I did with the bird. I think that's a little bit big. I like a little more space around. Oh my gosh, the bear. And this to me is the girl bear. There's nothing in there that indicates the sex of the bears, but somehow she just looks more like a girl to me. It could be the butterfly that's up around her ears, but I love the two bears that are in the set. I'm going to use the girl bear on this mounted board. So I just want to attach her as we did the last one. Remember, joint compound, sealed, dried thoroughly, and now the girl bear. The she bear is going on to this one. Anybody have any questions about anything? I think this whole process is pretty straightforward. It is fun, and you can really mix it up and do a lot of different things. So I'm just going to transfer the girl bear onto the fabric substrate here with the joint compound on it. Get that on there. Try to not block the view. We get a lot of sunshine here that's also making shadows, but geez, it's getting gorgeous. It's supposed to be mid to high 60s today. Perfect fall weather for my taste. There's the girl bear. I'm going to use some clear wax again, and I'm just applying it with a paper towel. A little bit of clear wax to keep that supple and seal it. I'm putting it on the transfer and around the edges of the joint compound too. Kind of marry those up even a little bit more. And we're going to use the different upholstery tacks on this one. So, upholstery tacks. Back in the corners, I'm using the more plain of the ones that I ordered. So there's that. Didn't bring a hammer, so we'll use a wood block. Anybody have questions or comments or ideas for what you think you might use this for? Again, you know, I totally love that you can make yourself a background that is whatever size you want it to be. So if you wanted to do like a triptych of 3 of the transfers together, you know, you could put, here's a square of joint compound, here's a square, here's a square. You can totally customize it to the project that you're working on. So there we are there. I will probably do the boy bear on one of these mounted pieces too. That's a little bit taller, right? So that will also suggest boy and girl bears based on their sizes. I think about stuff like that. So here's this one, bringing her back up. Yes, you could do that. You could add some wording under. Let me show you an example of something I was doing with that. But isn't that cute, right? So we have a short that can just, you know, hang on a wall, I suppose, or a shelf sitter. And this guy next to it, so he's going to sit taller. You can have arrangements of all sorts of sizes. Obviously, you could use these, the rounds that I had. You know, you could cut a piece of fabric that's round and just make small round ones of these. Thank you, Julie. Yeah, Shannon, let me show you what, if I can find it here. I have a plan. Did I bring it out even? Yes, here it is. I did this one. So I'm going to put her on the top of this board. And what I did was I ripped a piece of fabric, and I'm going to put joint compound on just the little bit of it, and I'm probably going to stamp something on there that says magic or fairies or I don't know what. But yes, you totally can do things like that. And then I don't know, just one more variation. If I can find that, I brought them out here. You can skip up. Here we go. You can even skip the fabric part, right? So here is a board that I just put the joint compound right on the board. Just a different look. Stacy, my daughter, and I talked, and she usually likes very minimalist things. So less is more for Stacy. I'm different. But we both like the addition of the fabric. But you don't have to do that. You can put the joint compound directly on wood, create yourself a background. I'm going to put this raccoon right on here. We'll push this back down again. And obviously you apply the transfer the same old way, but directly onto the joint compound without the benefit or the extra steps of doing the fabric. It's just a matter of taste. It's a matter of variety. And, obviously, so many possibilities. I would love to see what you guys do. If you do any variation on this project, I hope that you're all members of the Iron Orchid Designs Creative Tribe, that free Facebook group that you can join by just answering a few questions. And it is a source of endless inspiration. There we go. So this is directly on the board, no fabric in between. I don't have to use the upholstery tacks, although I could just for decoration. So that's it. Julie, right up your alley. You save wood, so do I. Everything. Do you put any antiquing on the joint compound when it's dry? I have not. But you certainly could. You could do a wash of, you could use tea. You could do just a wash of brown paint. You could do whatever. I would, before I tried to colorize any of the joint compound, I would seal it because it is going to be incredibly porous and just suck up whatever media you put on it, whether it's acrylic or dyes or inks or tea. They'll just soak right in and get splotchy unless you do the sealing of the joint compound first. So apply it. You can paint over it. You can so many things. Yeah, the raccoon is cute right on there, right? And this is a simpler way to do it. Like I was saying too, I love that you can have unusual shapes because you're applying the compound to the size and shape that you want. You're not limited by something you have to find in a store. So I think I'm done. We have only been here for about 35 minutes, so I'm wrapping up pretty early. I want to know if anybody has any questions. Just going back. Yeah, the fairy pack is really fun. Rose says she's so glad she bought it. I'm not 100% of a fairy person, but these are just, they're beautiful. They are just such nice companion pieces for the woodland animals in Holly Glen. They're they're classic and sweet, but not too sweet. They're suitable for children, but they're not childish. I love them. I love the animals. I love all of them. So, thanks you are very, very welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I'm not even sure I said much about myself. My name is Liz. I have a shop inside of the Afton Creative Arts Studio, which I own along with my business partner, Jill. And Liza Jane Designs is part of the Creative Arts Studio here in Afton. I am an IOD stockist. So if you happen to be in this neck of the woods, I hope you'll come see us. Well, thank you, Carolyn. Julie, you have a blessed day as well. It is going to be a gorgeous, wonderful day here. If you are not in this beautiful area of the Twin Cities, St. Croix River Valley in Minnesota, find a stockist near you. We're all over the place. You can go on the IOD website and find the stockist locator, search geographically. I ship. Many of our stockists, wherever they are located, will ship. I still think it's a good idea to find someone close to you because shipping is less if you can ship close to close. I am in Afton, Minnesota, Julie. It is on the St. Croix River, due east of St. Paul, just east of the Twin Cities, but on the Wisconsin border. That is where I am. So thanks for joining me today. I'm going to sign off now and go open up my shop. So you guys have a wonderful day. Please share what you create in the Creative Tribe. Ask any questions. Yes, shipping costs totally cut into buying products. I totally get that. Keep your joint compound sealed up and it'll last a long time. I hope you guys all have wonderful days and thank you for watching me. Love you much and we'll see you next time. Bye.